Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah, Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Woo! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blending smooth like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Woo! Living loud, think the crowd, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give is save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more.
is going on, everybody? Back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan HQ Network. I'm your host, the Spartan, aka Peter. Tonight, we have a conversation to talk about. And you guys are already going at it in the chat. So Eric is in the house. What's going on, Eric? And he's saying, I'm going to say right now, toss a belt to Sami Zayn is a complete and underdog pop. And I agree with that. And he follows up with saying, and I give Jey Uso a live microphone is just a unforgivable. We're gonna talk about that. And while he's in the house, and Eric, sheesh. So with this pay-per-view was, I want to say it was the best one we ever had. I'm not gonna give him that much credit, but it was better than most pay-per-views we had recently. Because we had some belt transfers, some good moments. With the Sami Zayn, I did not see that coming. And people are saying in the comments now he's finally completed his story. One thing that I will say about Sami Zayn, he damn earned that belt. He's been the, I can't say GOAT. I want to say the comedian part of the show. He's been the punching bag. He's been the guy who you think he's going to win, but he didn't. But Eric following up really fast says, thank you, LA Knight. And there's a lot to talk about. And the comments I watched a lot of the highlights. I didn't watch the full pay-per-view. I don't have any of the streaming service for that, unfortunately. But it just shows you when WWE wants to sit back and write a good storyline, a good event, they can do it. Now the question is, was TKO not pulling little puppet strings and they were able to do what they want to do, or was it more a fluke? I don't want to call it a fluke. I think they actually pulled a good one out of their asses this time. Again, I'm not going to say this is one of the best ones because we have other pay-per-views that were better. But seeing these matches got me smiling again, saying we may have a good match coming our way. So Sami Zayn is the talk of the, I think he took the pay-per-view. He was the one that everybody's going to be talking about because nobody saw that coming. And Eric is saying, and it was they can't goddamn handicap. And that's the thing. In a handicap match, anything goes. Usually, most times, the champion always win the handicap champion. Not always, but most times. But we also talked about Seth Rollins and Breaker. That match was really good too. When he did that super stomp, I gotta give him credit. I did not see that coming. I thought when he was on his knees and he was telling him, "Come on, I got you," and he reversed it. That's the old Seth Rollins I remember. And like there were so many moments of this. And oh, my bad, Eric. I didn't know you were referring about Raw. But the Sami Zayn match was a three-way cap. I usually call those handicap because sometimes two people team up against one. The thing that we always going to remember is Sami Zayn actually won it. When you become a champion, that's it. You're a champion. Now, the question is, moving forward from this match, SummerSlam is around the corner. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he's going to defend his title in SummerSlam. There's no question about that. Those little titles he had, like like the I believe it was the Universal Champion. No, was it Universal? No, the United States, and I believe he had the IC at one time. I'm not mistaken. He's always been a fighting champion. I will give him that. He's always been a fighting champion. Now, but by him saying he's a fighting champion, is he can continue down that path? Because we have a little time ahead of us now for SummerSlam. And are we going to see a second round 2 of Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, or is it going to be another 3-way match, or maybe a handicap too, like maybe a cage match or whatever kind of thing, tables match, whatever. So the thing with these can go either way. This always is going to lead into SummerSlam. The only pushback I have on this right now is very simple. This used to be known as King of the Ring pay-per-view, and it's not called King of the Ring anymore. And I kind of don't like the name of it. Really don't. And what amazes me also, because of Sami Zayn's background, I hate to bring it up, but it is going to be brought up in some point. Nobody saw him coming. At one point, he was not allowed to what is the word I'm looking for? To compete overseas because of his religious background. But things have changed, obviously, over the last couple of years. He's allowed to travel and compete. And that's the funny part to me. You having somebody who's wasn't allowed in different countries winning the championships. You got to give him credit for that shit, bro. You have to give him credit. And it just amazes me how times have changed. How times has transformed this thing we love. That is not what it was, a few years ago. We've seen wrestling go up and down, roller coasters, good times and the bad times. Some aggressive times, soft times, peachy times. But one thing we're never going to stop is loving this sport, loving this entertainment. If you're a real fan of this, you always will love it. So part of the thing I've been seeing a lot, and people in the comments on WWE's channel, they're saying they're expecting a lot of people could get called up. Let me try this again, because that was like a tongue twister for me. A lot of people are going to be called up from NXT into SummerSlam, maybe right before or right at it or something like that. If they really wanted to throw a curveball into this, having some call-ups, a few, would definitely do it. So I just expect so much of it coming. Now, with the title matches, I do see Cody Rhodes calling him out. Maybe even tonight, even maybe sooner. I mean, maybe later on, saying he wants a rematch. And if I remember correctly, I'm not don't quote me. He does have the rematch clause in his contract. Obviously, we know that's kind of a little bit bullshit. It's, kayfabe and all that stuff. But let's say, for argument's sake, it is that they're going to go with that route. How is the match going to be? Because usually the guy who wins King of the Ring actually has the first dibs on the champion. So, actually, let me go back and get my notes up because I don't have that up. I do apologize, guys. Well, Let's see. Let's see. And the thing we gotta also talk about really fast is before I get into that. All right, we have SummerSlam coming up August 1st. Then right after that is Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank can change the whole game after that. And then obviously you got Survivor Series. We have three major pay-per-views coming back to back to back. And that is a big factor because how are they going to set up these storylines? Obviously, storylines may change because of injuries. We do have to keep that in mind. As much as we don't want to see that, it's going to happen. I know from the clips I've been seeing right before I went on air is what's his name? Oh man, I'm trying to remember his name now. My brain just literally it's been a long day at work. Roman Reigns, not Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar was calling out. What's his fucking name? Oba Fett, and he F5'd him. But before we even go into SummerSlam, we also have Hell in a Cell. I totally forgot about that. That's another one coming up. I think Hell in a Cell is kind of overrated, to be honest with you guys. I'm kind of like over it. I don't think Hell in a Cell should be a pay-per-view. I think it should be more a special event that it should come up once in a while. All right, Night of Champions. I'm not a fan of the name of it. Like I said, I like it better when it's King of the Ring. I was always a fan of King of the Ring. I do understand why they changed it because of King of the Ring and and Queen of the Ring. But right now, the male version, the male King of the Ring is Oba Fett defeated Jey Uso. Guys, all that coming. No offense, Jay. I like you, dude, but you're not being a freaking tink. No way around it. But the female was what's her name? IYO SKY it defeated Morgan. Well, we know who she's going after already. This is gonna be around to Ling Morgan because she has a title. I don't think Liv should have been in that match. To be honest with you guys, I don't think she should have been in the match because of one major factor. She has a belt already. Whoever wins it was going to challenge the champion. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So, and this is the shit I'm talking about, dude. They don't set themselves correctly. That's why I say this wasn't the greatest. It was okay. So now with this Cage match, it was Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker, and we know Seth Rollins won. And I give Rollins a salute for that because his performance was incredible, beyond incredible. The way he performed was he put his so much in there, from the stomp, from the high flying, everything. The guy, I think he's in his 40s now, almost, isn't he? I'll tell you right now his age because he's still performing like. Oh, I'm sorry, 39. We're saying here. Booking is still alive. I'm not disagreeing. You want big, Eric, but booking is not what it used to be. It's a little more political back in stage now, and they have mentioned that multiple times in different interviews and everything. It's a different type of animal. But I will say one thing, and maybe I'm the only one. So a lot of these guys are getting up in age. Seth Rollins is 39. You got obviously, what's his name? Brock Lesnar. He's pushing, a good amount of years on himself. And I know Brock Lesnar is literally coming towards his end of his career. He's ready to hang up the boots. Now we need the new blood come in. And I think that's why I kind of enjoy seeing how they're pushing Oba Fett as the next big thing, if you want to call it that. And he's doing a good job, in my opinion. A very, very good job. Now with Jay, come on, dude. Jay, I like you, bro, but you're not ready for the big shots. You're not big for. If you're not in the bloodline, you're literally getting creamed. If you're not with your brother, you're fucked. If you're not, with Roman, you're getting fucked. But one thing I do want to talk about the bloodline really fast. What I found very interesting how they twisted a story around, like saying, with God damn, I'm having a brain fart tonight. We had man, I gotta remember his name now. He used to be in the bloodline. Wow. Guys, help me out if you know who I'm talking about. They pretty much said to him, the high table or whatever, they don't want him, working with him anymore. He's flying solo. That's what his name. And that is going to be a big factor in the next couple matches, the next couple weeks. How is he going to be doing this? How he's going to be performing by himself solo. Get it? Solo, performing solo. All right. That is a factor. Because it is a lot of, he always had his team behind him. After he walked away from Roman Reigns, he didn't have anybody to back him up. Simple. He didn't have anything to do. He had the guys. He always had a posse following him around. And that's what made him him. But I will say one thing. His character has not been working since he left the bloodline. Now, the question I think we should be asking tonight, and I don't see what people's opinions are on this. Do you guys feel like Solo is going to return to the bloodline? Huh. That is a very interesting question, to be honest with you guys. Because I have a hard time seeing that, how they're going to pull that off. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible. We've seen other factions break up and get back together. A D-Generation X, great example. When obviously it was things behind the scenes why they broke them up. Obviously, Shawn needed to go get rehab and all that stuff because of his drug abuse. But when he came back, the story they played, he, Triple H, took a sludge to his back and kind of screwed his back up to the point he had to be in a wheelchair. And then when he came back, I'm all fixed up, and that is the factor. And then, for months and months, and it was a good year, I think it was, they were beefing with each other. But eventually they got back together. It worked for them. But how are they going to bring Solo back into the bloodline? All right. I can't do this by myself, guys. I think you heard enough of me. Time to bring my man in here. Let me fix one thing before I bring him in. My sound effects are not working. Let me just fix that really fast. I know he's back there. Just be patient back there. There we go. All fixed. All right. He's from planet Vegeta. Of course, he has no idea what I'm talking about, and I'll keep smoking his ass. Anton, my baby oil brother, how you doing?
Yo, What's going on, Peter? How's it going?
First question: have you watched Dragon Ball Z yet?
No, you can blame my wife for that. Oh God!
You know why you getting an alarm? I'll tell you why you getting an alarm.
Yeah, the nerd
You
alert.
can't blame your wife. What's the old saying? Happy life, happy wife. In your case, happy life, dead dick.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that discussion later.
All right. I can't get open my open thoughts. I know you didn't come in here. I want you to give me your open thoughts of. Oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say that as loud. I don't like the name of this pay-per-view. I like it when it was King of the Ring, but it's called Night of Championships now. I think it's the stupidest name ever.
I prefer King of the Ring.
I do too.
I was always a fan of King of the Ring, or even if they wanted to be more politically correct and involving the women, King and Queen of the Ring. I'm okay with that too.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with that. Not Night of Champions. Night of Champions was a whole different pay-per-view at one point.
Exactly.
And they pulled it off their pay-per-views for a long time, didn't they?
Yeah. I think they used to have they used to have Night of Champions. They used to have Crown Jewels and King of the Ring. They were all like their own separate pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know? Oh wow.
But
Thanks, Eric.
But I know they said when TKO took over, they're going to cut back on pay-per-views. It was a little too much because you had a pay-per-view every 3 or 4, every 2 or 3 weeks almost at one point, and these guys couldn't keep up with that.
I remember before they always had at least one pay-per-view each month. If it was January, you knew it was going to be the Royal Rumble. When it was April, it was always WrestleMania. When it was in August, it was always SummerSlam. And when it was November, right around Thanksgiving time, it was Survivor Series. Those were the 4 that I remember, that everyone remembers. Then each month they start adding a new one. They all start off as in your house, and then they evolved into the pay-per-views we all know. But they had at least one pay-per-view each month. Same thing with WCW. They had at least one pay-per-view each month. In April, if I remember, it was always Spring Stampede. In August, it was Hog Wild or Road Wild and Sturgis. July, if I remember, was always Bash at the Beach. June, I think, if I remember, was the Great American Bash because it usually took place around Memorial Day. And then, of course, I think December was always Starrcade. November was always Fall Brawl, War Games. So it was always at least one pay-per-view each month. And each month, and you knew which pay-per-view was because when you looked at the calendar, it was always usually that last Sunday of the month. With the exception of WrestleMania, because it used to usually be, I think, that first Sunday in April.
Mm-hmm.
And I think March was the only time they never had a pay-per-view because of the fact that they wanted to have that time to get set up for WrestleMania.
Okay.
So I think, I understand what they're trying to do and everything else, but go back to King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring or King and Queen of the Rings. Go back to that.
Night of Champions is politic backlash, and that's what the issue is, I think.
Oh, I remember Backlash.
No, not backlash. Like, because it has to be politic now. You have to be. People are so sensitive; they don't worry about backlashing. People say, that's racist or sexist or anything like that. Be unique, my man. Be unique.
Yeah, I know.
King and Queen of the Ring was unique for you.
Yeah, and it worked. And it definitely worked. So I just think, and congratulations to Oba Femi for winning King of the Ring. I got
it coming. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nobody. I don't think anybody did.
What's up?
I don't think anybody did. I think some people knew eventually his day was come. I don't think they expected it to be now. I guess they figured maybe next year.
When they put him in against Jey Uso, you're wrestling a tank, bro. You're wrestling a goddamn fucking tank. Jay did a great performance. I cannot deny that. He pushed himself and he tried. He didn't get winded. I give him credit. Carter went up. Good boy, Jey Uso. I'm so proud of you. Good boy. Good boy.
Honestly,
go ahead.
I just think the one thing I've always liked about King of the Ring, it sometimes was that like we always talk about how the Intercontinental title is that, you know what? It's that litmus test to see. Oh, wow. Oh, really? I got a little chicken to that, Eric. Thanks for the heads up. But remember how I always said the Intercontinental title was that litmus test to see if that particular superstar could be a main eventer?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like King of the Ring was that pay-per-view where if you won that, if you've gone through the gauntlet to become King of the Ring, it was a test to see where can you go from there. And we've seen Owen Hart, we've seen Booker T. I love the fact that how he took the King Booker montage to a new level. Macho Man Randy Savage now calling himself the Macho King. Very creative. I'll give him that.
Stone Cold is the best example ever. Because
Yeah.
before King of the Ring, Stone Cold wasn't shit. He
That's
was
true.
just an average wrestler. And then he started Stone Cold 316 says he started his saying.
Yeah.
And he just spit it out.
And I think what it was when he was stunning Steve Austin and the Ringmaster and all these other names, it was like, really? And when he was wrestling, you know, he had the $1 million title wrestling. He was like the personal wrestler for Ted DiBiase and everything else. When he finally got a chance to step away from that and create the mantra that is Stone Cold, and then he won King of the Ring, that was it. Like, his popularity skyrocketed from that point forward.
If you remember a few years back, I want to bring this up really fast. Sami Zayn, obviously, he's our new champion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to you. He deserved that, I think, personally. Can we agree on
Right.
that?
Yeah. Yes. Because I feel
you
like
remember when they were first going to overseas, I think it was what pay-per-view was it? Remember when there was the first one overseas? In Saudi Arabia, what it was called?
Crown Jewel.
Crown
Was
Jewel.
it?
Crown Jewel. He was not allowed to go there.
Oh.
The rumors were because of religious beliefs. He is not nothing. I'm not mocking the guy. I don't hate him because the guy's like, your religion. I respect you, whatever you believe. Can we agree on that so far?
Yes.
Okay. He is a Muslim brother. Okay.
Okay.
So I have nothing against that. What you believe, what you believe. You know, I'm Christian, Orthodox. You're
Roman Catholic. Right.
Whatever. Tomato, tomato. At this point, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was not allowed to go to overseas for that reason.
Really? Okay. Well, I was not aware that stopped him from being allowed overseas. I guess visa reasons and everything else.
I hate my computer right now.
Yeah.
The last year's acting stupid. So I was trying to say before I got cut off my computer being gay. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, or whatever you want to call it. He was not allowed to go to overseas originally. Then I think a year later, 2 years later, they lifted that. Says, listen, he's allowed to come over. I don't know if it's more the country he's originally from, not like him personally, maybe his ancestors or something like that. I'm not sure the whole story behind it. I don't want to, put out wrong information there, but I do know he was not allowed over there. And I think it's funny now. He is a person who was not allowed in that country, and he is in that country, and he wins the championship. Don't you think it's ironic?
Yeah, it is. Like everything comes full circle. And I remember when he was in the elimination, when he competed in the Elimination Chamber, and that was his hometown of Montreal, and he came very close and came up short. And it was like
he came short multiple times, not once, not twice, multiple times. But one thing about him I liked always is every championships he had from the United States Championship, the IC Championship he had for a while too. I remember mistaken.
Right.
He was a fighting champion always. Never kept the belt on him too long. That's the only thing I would say. Every time he had it, he only had it maybe for a month or two. Then he took it right off. And I think this is about might be looking at the same thing again. If he gets more than 2 months, they're really going to run with him. That means, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they need to, because I feel like he's had his chances, and I feel like no one has gave him a story to push. And I feel like now is the time to take advantage of it. Now is the time to say, okay, you know what? Let's give him something that we can work with. Let's give him something that will work. That, all right, why didn't we try this earlier? Why didn't we try this sooner? Why did we wait so long? They'll finally give him that push. And I think that's the frustrating aspect. And we've seen other wrestlers before him when they got the Intercontinental and even at times the European title. Okay, you know what? They got what it takes. It was the Intercontinental or the European title or the U.S. title. Even when it was on WCW, you had the U.S. title there and others. And it was like, you know what? Let's see if we can give them an opportunity to be a headliner, a main eventer. Let's see what we can do. And you had some that ran with it and it worked. And unfortunately, you had some they ran with and it sucked. So it's always about timing. And we've always said that before. It's about timing. And then at the same time, it's either do you want to push it too soon or you're going to drag it out for too long. It's almost like you got to wait for that right moment. Oh, wow. Come on, Eric. Really? Wow. But you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's all about timing. And when do we push it? Do we push it down? Do we push it later? Or
I think this is a thank you from WWE to Sami because his work he put over the years. Because when it was NXT, he had a good character coming around.
Mhm.
Then they moved him to the main roster, and he kind of like mid-cardish level for a little bit,
it
right?
almost dragged. It almost dragged for a bit.
Yeah. Then they teamed him up with
Kevin Owens. That was a good thing.
Kevin Owens. Thank you, Kevin Owens, for a little bit. Then it was with Roman Reigns with the Bloodline, and he did a really good job because he was the comedian portion of that. You know,
he was definitely the comic relief, and you could tell with some of the things that he was saying. You could tell he was talking to Jimmy, and both Jay and Roman were trying very hard not to break character, and you could tell they were about to, but they were trying very hard not to break character.
I remember the whole script, the whole thing, and we looked at I think we looked at Roman, if I remember correctly, like. He goes, Roman, I'm like, he's not being too ussy right now. And he seemed to think, I'm like, okay. I'm like, Roman goes, a little Korean's like, yeah, he's not being too ussy right now. I'm like,
wow.
Or the other one that they told him to take his shirt off. And he said, I'm not taking my shirt off. I earned this shit. And he goes, you take your goddamn shirt off. They rip it off him and they then hand him a new one. I'm like, you need a better shirt. And his picture was on the shirt to complete the bloodline for them. Because he was like the honorable Uso, if you remember. Right. And him being the punching bag for so many years, from jokes to, mid-card to taking the championship, then losing it the next day.
He was always like comic relief, and now it's like, you know what? You earn your dues. You didn't have to do it, but you went along with it. Yeah, I think now's your time. This is like a way of rewarding him for for everything.
And if you heard the interview, he had a small like towards the end as he walked back to like he's going back to Gorilla and like they asked him how do you feel like he said I damn earned this. And everybody's crowning. You earned it. Like damn, you're right. I earned this. He goes and he took that. And I can't credit like that's a perfect timing. Perfect timing.
It is. I'm glad because he deserves it. It's long overdue because we've seen some talent never have an opportunity, and it's like wow, really. So, and I'm looking at the results right now on the website. IYO SKY winning Queen of the Ring.
I have a problem with that match.
Really?
Who did she defeat?
Liv Morgan.
And who she's challenging right once she got won that, and she looked at her and says, "Who she challenged immediately before her hand was even raised."
Oh, I'm looking at it right now.
It was Liv Morgan. He goes, she goes to her, and I'm not quoting it. I'm not paraphrasing. Like, I'll see you next.
Oh wow!
Again, not exact words, but if you haven't watched the highlights, that's the first thing she says. I'm coming for you, belt bitch.
Yeah, I see her pointing at her. I see her pointing at her right now. I'm looking at the picture right now.
This is why I have an issue with that. Okay, if they're going to do that kind of match, okay, and we all know whoever wins King or Queen of the Ring usually has the right to challenge the champion. Depends which title you're going after, the heavyweight or universal.
Right.
Now you have two of full respectfully of both male and female.
Right.
That I don't have a problem with that. I think they do need both of them. They need to work on the female division. It has gone to shits lately, I think.
Yeah, it has.
But why would you put IYO SKY to defeat against Liv Morgan when you're going to have her challenge her anyway?
Yeah.
Please, Anton, enlighten me. I'm stupid.
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out how the bracket works it led up to these two to go at it for Queen of the Ring. And I think that's the one thing you look at and you're like, okay, who was in the tournament? How were they grouped? And how did this bracket ended up with these two and it's in the final match for Queen of the Ring? That's the best way to look at it. My question is, how did they group each wrestler for Queen of the Ring? Because if I remember, wasn't King of the Ring usually like on that night you had to wrestle X number of matches to the end?
It was like a back then it was like you started like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a Roman Rumble, like a elimination cut, not elimination, like you have a tiers, it goes up, you know what I'm saying? And the last one was like I don't remember it was on the same night. I do remember it was at at some towards the end, obviously you're gonna win like
right. And if I remember one year they did it where everyone on the roster was available, and then at that night they had the final 8. And then that's how they determined who was King of the Ring from there. So you were doing a good amount of wrestling that night. Wow. I think what it is, Eric, I get what you mean by the Universal title, and that was because you have to remember they came up with the Universal title right around the time they acquired WCW. So they took the WWE title and the heavyweight title.
That wasn't.
What wasn't it?
It was later on, yeah, a lot years later on. So when they acquired WCW, they brought in the heavyweight champion, and that's my favorite belt. It's always been my. I don't like this new design. I think it's too black.
Really?
WWE into your face with a big WWE medal in it, because they took the classic and they merged the new version, and they kind of like Vince McMahon took a shit on it and puked over it. I feel. I'm not a big fan of these big labels. Like I like the old wing belts. I like the heavy.
Oh yeah,
the big yellow. Big yellow has always been my favorite belt. I do like the W for the Universal and the champion, but not for the heavyweight. I think the heavyweight should be unique.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I was saying, so they brought the heavyweight and champion, and the first person who held the WWE heavyweight champion was Triple H. He was handed to him literally on a silver platter. And Eric Bishop popped it up and goes, "Here, you're the new WWE heavyweight champion." I'm like, seriously? That's the best. That's the best you got? You couldn't do a Roman Rumble, you couldn't do a tier match, you couldn't do a Hell in a match with like 5 people. Something. Give me something. It's not a silver platter. But the storyline worked for back then. I'll give him that.
Right.
Then years and years later, the person who they had both titles together. One person held the champion and the heavyweight, and they merged them together into the Universal champion. The Universal is supposed to be the champion, the WWE Championship,
right,
versus then they brought back the heavyweight.
Right.
And they've been doing that multiple times, and they did that
and
with.
If I remember, wasn't Finn Balor the first Universal champ? But he had to vacate it because of a shoulder injury.
Correct. And years later, they did 2 championships: Raw's Universal and SmackDown. If I remember, the names might be wrong, but they had 2 different belts
because they had 2 different color bands. Because the red was for Raw and the blue was SmackDown.
They could have called champion versus Universal, whatever the names were. I'm not going to argue, go back and forth with the names. Now, obviously, Roman Reigns have both belts, so they've merged them again. into the Universal again. So, and I've never been a fan of mergers. My personal opinion, I said this on the show before. I think in the beginning when we started doing these wrestling talks, this is what I think to do. All right, Triple H, listen up. Get your pen out, and I will come after you for my 10, 20, maybe 50% of this idea. Okay. Now, this is what I think they should do. Get rid of the Universal completely. I agree with Eric. The name doesn't do anything for me.
Okay.
Give me a Raw championship and give me a SmackDown championship.
Okay.
Wait.
But then they did the same thing with the tag teams, didn't they? Remember?
Yes. So give me 1 second.
All right.
Take over for 1 second, please.
Okay. Let's see what he got plotting, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's going to show us something that we never thought about. What do you think it is, folks? Inquiring minds want to know. If you have any ideas what Peter's trying to do, post it in the chat. I may have to do that, Eric. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, you can kiss my ass. I wasn't doing anything like that. So I will tell you after the show. All right. So you got the 2 titles, right?
Right.
All right. You have the heavyweight champion. Now, the only people who can call out the heavyweight champion is a SmackDown champion or a Raw
a Raw champion.
Nobody can call him out. All right. So let's say the SmackDown champion wins the heavyweight. Now the heavyweight goes down in the bottom, and now he has to work himself back up. And now it's vacate. The vacate had, the 2 number 1 contenders go at it, and they win the champion. And then it goes over and over.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? I know Wally wasn't a big fan of that when I said it to him. And I love the idea of that. I really do. I think it will be a great addition to the show.
I think what it'll do also is individuals that were being overlooked and ignored will finally have a chance to get their 15 minutes as well.
Bingo. There's so many more storylines out there. You know what I'm saying? Like when they did is it the Crown Jewel big belt? The new one, right?
Yeah, I remember the Crown Jewel belts. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same concept almost, but different. Except the Crown Jewel is one time you wear it, you hang it up on your wall, like, oh, nice belt. Okay, I'm done with it. Bye. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. It's just come on. Give me something better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So think of what I'm saying. Just give me your thoughts really fast.
No, I like that idea because what it does that you have a gauntlet. You get to the top, you're there, next you know, you go back. And what it is that you're giving other wrestlers, you're giving other superstars an opportunity to finally step up. Now, you want your shot? Here's your shot. Let's see what you can do. If you get there, great. If not, guess what? You're going to have to start back over and work your way back up. Let's see what you got. And I think that's what it does.
That's my point.
It takes
more storylines.
And I think not only it will create more storylines, but a lot of individuals who've been overlooked. Now, okay, you know what? We'll put you out there. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you got what it takes. It's almost like you don't want to treat the mid cards as jobbers, but at the same time, it's almost like you're giving them, you're shooting them as well. You treat them like shooters.
Also, this just gives you opportunity to do different storylines. Okay, you have Seth Rollins always in the ring. You have Gunther. Gunther needs to fucking retire, in my opinion. I don't like Gunther.
Really? Huh?
I was never a fan of it. I never liked his character. I never it doesn't do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And like
even when it was with Imperium?
I hated more Imperium.
Wow.
And just something about the guy. Like, listen, he's a performer. Absolutely, I respect what he does in the ring. If he was on a Comic-Con, I'll still get his autograph. I'll still shake his hand. I'm not telling him I'm not a big fan of you, bro. My bad. No offense. Like, I think you can do better. I think he has the most sloppiest sleep hold ever. Because again, this is me. I'm nitpicking because I'm a martial artist like yourself.
Right.
Like, you see sleep hold. You're a martial artist. Do you think it's sloppy or not?
It could be better. And we've seen, and here's the crazy part, we've seen better sleeper holds. We've seen better sleeper holds.
I think they need to stop pushing Gunther completely. I think they need to put him, push him away a little bit, let him take a little break, and bring him back later on. Because every time there's a big championship, he's involved somehow. I'm like, dude,
right.
How about you work from the bottom, dipshit?
You know what? Let's take you out the rotation for a minute.
This is why this WWE Championship ranking, I call it, will work. Paul Levesque, my man, call me. We got out to talk. I'm calling you out, my dude. I am calling you out. I just realized my name is wrong on this damn thing. I got fucking fixed that.
Yeah, you do got Paul's. You do got Paul's moniker up there. There you go.
I'm gonna kill him later. But think about what I'm telling you, Anton. I almost called you Paul. Yeah, Paul guy. You both fucking the same ugly shit. And one uses baby oil, one doesn't. That's the difference.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah, but seriously, think what I'm saying to you, Anton. They said this is a King of the Ring, all right, not this Night of Champions. It was the real King of the Ring, and you had this kind of deal. Now not only you have the championship belt match of the heavyweight, all right. You could have two more other matches. Okay, the guy who's coming is first contender. Like, you know what? I'm not waiting for him to lose the belt. I want this fucking belt now. You have the opportunity to call the WWE champion or SmackDown or Raw out to wrestle. The loser grabs it. Now, okay, you have to find the right opportunity. When you wrestle that, whatever, maybe it's every other rotation, every other pay-per-view. Maybe it'll be like, remember how it was Raw and SmackDown pay-per-view? Maybe the host will be a Raw SmackDown, but, a Raw, but the SmackDown guys can wrestle still, but the Raw one always get their, main event will be the heavyweight championship, whoever it is. All right?
Right.
So as that goes on, I've been thinking about this for a while. So my gears have been working. You can see that? You can see how this is working?
Yeah.
Like my creative gears are working right now. So this could be a big opportunity for a lot of people. So now you have the champion, heavyweight champion. You have two other championships belt going on at the same time. Now you have king and queen of a fucking ring. Now you may have maybe a squash match like the steel cage we had over the weekend.
Oh, wow.
You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. Really good fucking matches.
Right.
Now another one, the ultimate United States Women's Champion. That to me, that was a squash match. That wasn't even a match. That was like a fill-in. That was a fill-in. Let's be honest here, because all of these other women came out, or something like Flair came out, this chick came out. I'm like, fuck. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, guys? Like, Anton, talk to me. Come on. What are we doing here?
It's like you wonder, where is everybody? What's going on?
Or so they're popping out like goddamn ants, like cockroaches. Like you lift a sewer thing. I'm like,
everyone's scattering.
Hey, you saw that? Hey, I think that was Ric Flair. Oh, that was green, wasn't it? I'm like, come on. I like a good surprise. I really do. But they try to do these surprises every fucking pay-per-view. I'm getting tired of it. Like they were pushing the masked wrestler every fucking week. I went, come on, enough. And like every few months, a new wrestler come back from an injury. He's wearing a mask. He takes it off. It was what's his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name right now. He just shaved his head. He got fired originally. R-Truth, remember?
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he should have shaved his head a long time ago because he was balding pretty bad. Then it was Seth Rollins. The two I can't remember. Like, come on, it was like too much of this match. That's what
gotta do something different. Gotta make something different.
Yeah, change it up, my dude.
Do something very different.
So what I'm saying to you right now, Anton, imagine if you have this formula. I'm giving you, dude.
It can definitely work.
Free information, my man. Free information. Sorry,
the only problem is the board gonna go? Is the board at TKO gonna go along with it?
The board gets like my fucking hairy big dick, my Kraken.
That's the only thing, because something like this can work.
I was joking about it sucking my Kraken. Whoa, calm down there, Anton. You missed that part. You went over your head. You didn't hear me.
My thing is, this could work. This setup like this can work. The thing is, will Triple H push it? If he likes the idea and he tries to push it to the board, will they go along with it? Because I get what you're saying, Eric. You feel like he's being seen as more and more of a novelty. I get that. I totally get that. But at the same time, it's time to try something. You have to be willing to try something different. You have to be willing to risk it. Worst case scenario, hell, try something from 30 years ago when WCW was on the air. Maybe you'll catch some people on guard like, holy shit, I didn't see this till God knows how long ago. And for a lot of the younger ones, they may not even, they're not going to know something about that. Like, wait, something like this happened before? Yeah. There's a way they can pull it off, but you have to find a way to catch people off guard. There is a way that it can be done. You have to be willing to try things different. You have to be willing to push the envelope.
I think if you bring somebody like myself, I'm using me as an example, obviously.
Okay.
Right? I know it's never going to happen, but let's say, for example, I got a job, all right, as a new writer or something. I'm being a fan for years, but I do other things like comic books, movie, wherever, right?
Right.
It could be a fresher breath of air.
Yeah.
Because everybody they have as creative right now were ex-wrestlers.
Yeah.
Or they're in the business for so many years. It's very rare when you see somebody like, what's his name? Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. I never knew he was a writer.
Me neither. So I saw one day he goes into an interview. I'm a former WWE writer. I'm like, what the fuck?
I forgot what it was. It was something I saw on Peacock, and they had a couple people at a roundtable discussion. And then when I saw him on the list, I'm like, what's Freddie Prinze Jr.
The
here?
first time I saw him, because the Dark Side of the Ring was doing something different for a season. They did like the round. I think that's what you're talking about. It was remember, Dark Side of the Ring works with WWE very well to do what they do.
Okay.
I'm assuming because a lot of these, they need to get permission from WWE to run out of the store. So
that's true. That is true.
Let me try to say this again. I'm having a tongue twister today. They run these stories, but they need, by permission, I mean they need to obviously they need Chris Jericho, for example, when he was in WWE or TNA. Right. They need to get permission from their promotion because they own the rights to their character for that moment.
Right.
Like you can't own the rights to somebody's name. Like that's why Chris Jericho always go by Chris Jericho, is because he owns his right to his own fucking name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like I never knew about that till I saw him in a round table like that, like you said.
When I saw him, I'm like, wait a minute, he was a writer? And I was like,
every actor at some point always wants to do producing, what writing usually do, or directing, or both, or write a story in themselves.
Right.
What's that guy name? I can't remember. He played in Good, Bad, and Ugly. What is his name? The main
Clint Eastwood.
He's a great example because think of what he done. He started as an actor.
Yep.
He became a writer, a producer. Producer works with the writers, obviously.
Right.
And a director.
$1 Million Baby, Unforgiven, Gran Turismo,
Space Cowboys.
That's right. I forgot about Space Cowboys. Thank you for reminding me.
So there's a few examples. He wrote the story of Space Cowboys. He produced it and directed it and cast it. Checkmate.
Yeah.
This is the same concept, I think.
Right. That is also true.
So, another story I want to talk about is the the Solo story for a minute here.
Okay.
Did you see Solo? His Aspasi's told him, we cannot support you anymore because the higher table, whatever they're called, the guys who are above Roman, saying you need to fly solo for a little bit. Get it? Solo needs to fly
we'll cut you loose.
pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
No, I did not see that.
You didn't get to watch the highlights, did you, bro?
Say again?
You didn't get a chance to watch the highlights, did
no,
you?
I haven't. But
you're usually more prepared than I am on this.
I know. It's just been these last couple of days have just been real, like. But I did not know that Solo was Wow.
So here's my thing now.
Okay.
Solo rejoins the bloodline somehow, and that's gonna be a hard stuff for a lot of people, but
Mm.
not impossible. I give you a great example. Degeneration X, when they first broke him up, Triple H sludged him. Shawn Michaels back. He came back with a back injury. He goes, like it was in New York Times Squares when they had the restaurant, if you remember.
Right.
He kicked the wheelchair out, like I am back. Blah, 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 blah. Then he was chasing him through for a couple of months. Then all of a sudden, they're both in the ring beating everybody up, and JR goes, "I think Generation is back. Yes, they're back." Okay, not the great way to bring the team back, but I could go behind that. But now we're in a different timeline, different world, different everything.
Right.
How do you bring a new old member who has burned bridges beyond bridges back with Roman? And don't forget, you have also the werewolf. What's his name?
Jacob Fatu.
Those two cannot stand each other. And he said it, you need to rejoin. He said it like I think on Friday. You need to have a conversation with Roman. You need to come back to their family. The mic is yours now.
This sounds interesting. This is the name. You have. I can imagine who the elders would be. I can
The
imagine
original elders were the Samoan twins. That was
Alpha
Roman's
and Sika.
father and uncle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Alpha
They were
and Sika.
twins, weren't they?
Yeah, they're twins. Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans. Yeah.
Yeah.
God rest their souls.
Yeah.
And I can see, I can see why Alpha and Sika would work, because they were the ones later carrying the mantle for the family. High Chief Peter Maivia, no longer with us. Who else? You had Alpha, you had Sika, you had Haku, or Meng, however you want to call him. You have, I don't know if Superfly Snuka was part of that council. God rest his soul.
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was.
Nah, I know he was associated, but not really.
Superfly, you saying?
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about him. But I know the two main players was the Samoan twins.
Yeah, Alpha and
Because
Sika.
when this bloodline first started, when he took out the twins, remember he first went out, the first one, then they both surrendered to him. They showed his allegiance to them.
Right.
And he walked up the ramp. They both came out with the red and what's that thing called? They put around his neck.
The Fala.
The leadership file, I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
And they put him around his neck, they hugged him and embraced him. And they made him the head of the table.
Head of the table.
Now, you have different things here now. You have Jacob.
Yeah.
New member.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a interesting storyline. Not the greatest, but interesting, I would say.
Right.
Now, how do you bring Solo back? The question is.
That's going to be interesting. It's like now you have to earn your place. You know? Oh, God. No. Honestly, I think it sounds like Solo is going to have to earn his place back. He's going to have to work his way back up. He's going to have to earn his spot.
But the question, does Solo want to go back with Roman? Because he cannot stand Roman. If Roman is a Manila player, he will pull you. He did all this stuff he told Jacob. And so far is the opposite we're seeing on air. He's not belittling him. He's not doing none of that stuff. But I'm going to throw another equation in this. Zephyr Fatu.
I remember you kept bringing him up.
I will keep bringing him up to fucking Triple H to listen to me and call his ass. Because when I met him with David, he said, Triple H has my number. I'm waiting for him to call me.
So he's just waiting. He's waiting for that phone to ring. And who knows when he'll make an appearance too. Not a matter if he'll make, but when.
I think it's when right now. I think the conversations already has been broken between those two multiple times because, end of the day, that is Roman's cousin. I'm not mistaken. I believe they're cousins somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying?
I believe so because remember, you had Alpha. Well, yeah, last name is Fatu, right? So Rikishi probably is his father.
No,
No,
it was Mufando, whatever his name was. He passed away a couple years back.
Oh,
Umaga, thank you. That's his father. And when he screamed, remember the big scream he did, like when he did the spike before?
right.
He used to scream. His real name is Isaiah, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And that's what he used to scream always.
Ah,
Before he did his
okay.
strike. It was kind of like tribute to his son, like I'm doing this for you, son.
Right.
So I believe they're cousins, I'm not mistaken.
I believe so too. Because if I remember, Rikishi is the father to both Jimmy and Jay.
That is correct.
I won't be surprised if he's involved as well.
They have mentioned they want to bring him in at some point, but it's kind of hard because either way he bashes WWE on his podcast. And he had remember the bad running with UFC fight, the UFC fighter doing a performance, and then he took out this veteran. He literally shattered his jaw completely almost. And that was his promotion. So again, I don't think that's a factor. I kind of see how they're gonna put him into the equation.
That's gonna be real. Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge.
I may see him having conversations in private because the politics part of it. So listen, I think it's time to bring my nephew into this. I think he's going to be a big factor. Now, let's say for argument's sakes here, let's say they bring both of those guys in. Imagine what kind of faction you're going to have in your hands now.
Yeah, exactly.
You think the generation was big? This is 10 times worse now.
Remember, you got the Fatu and Anoa'i families involved in this? Good luck.
And that is a factor we also need to think about here.
Yeah.
Because we have these guys who are royalty in the wrestling world.
Yes.
Let's be honest. They are royalty into this.
Yeah, they are. You know who may also have who might help as well, and most people never really thought about it? The Undertaker.
Why the Undertaker?
Because I remember hearing stories. He used to run with a group called BSK, remember?
It sounds familiar.
And I think some of them were the Samoan wrestlers too. Because I remember hearing stories he used to run. Because I think one time he was wearing something and it said BSK on it. And I think Rosie and them, I think it was Undertaker, Rosie, and a couple other members of the family, they all used to run together and everything else.
Yeah, they're drinking buddies. They were drinking buddies at one point.
Right. So, believe me, the fact that Taker used to run with members of the family, I won't be surprised if they ask him for input. He might be able to talk to some people if they can't get through to him. You know how it is? They may use him as the middleman, the go-between.
Maybe for backstage politics more, you saying?
Exactly. Because if there's still a good amount of unresolved backstage politics, and who knows how long it's probably been going on for, if they need a go-between to help resolve it, they're going to call Taker.
No, I do see that. Maybe that's about, but let's take the politics out of the way, and they bring him in.
Okay.
What kind of faction do you think we're gonna have in our hands now?
Ooh.
Last time, this faction, the bloodline, was very strong.
Yeah.
Was Sami Zayn, the Uso twins, Solo, and ours is Roman. That's 5 right there.
Yeah.
They were very powerful. Roman had the belt for what, 2-3 years almost?
Just about, give or take, yeah.
He
Around
was
that
the
time.
longest champion ever in WWE history.
And I think the only time he ever wrestled real was on the pay-per-views. You didn't see him on Raw. You didn't see him on Smack. You didn't see him wrestle on any of the
His
shows.
contract at the time was, and he said it on air too. It was like, listen, I wrestle less than you, and I make more money than you. Who's the fool now? You got you got to give him that credit. So at the time, his contract was only so many performance, so many shows, so many this. Could have been his health, yeah.
I think so, because remember, he was going through chemo probably around that same time, and he needed the time off to recoup at the same as well.
And the other factor could have been also the biggest. Could have been spend more time with his kids. He's a family man too.
That is true. That is true. A lot of them are, not just him. A lot of the members of the family are very strong about families and everything else.
Yeah, because is it Jay or what's his other brother? Jimmy. One of them are expecting a kid very soon. What's her name? I can't remember her name right now. Naomi. Naomi. Yeah, she got knocked up recently.
Yeah, so she's doing it any moment. So I think it's I forgot which Twitter it is.
Yeah.
Wally, start off there.
Yeah.
So we got on this, my man.
I just got in here. What's the conversation so far?
So we're talking about what if Bloodline added Solo, Jacob, and Sacrifice 2 into it? How strong the Bloodline will be with those extra members in there?
To be honest, it'll be the most hated faction right now in WWE.
I'm not saying it's not gonna be hated. I mean, how powerful would it be?
That's my whole point. When you're hated, you are powerful.
Good point.
Literally, you are. When you're the most hated, you are the most powerful. So yeah, it's gonna be the most hated faction in WWE.
In a way, I kind of see them doing like a similar version of the NWO, but with the Bloodline version.
From what perspective? I've heard. I sort of heard that same thing when people said that.
Think about it. Like NWO had all these members joined right and left, but the difference about this one, it would be people who are in the dynasty. Obviously, I
know he fought two families.
Yes, that's the only difference. You have to be a member, or you have to that type of bloodline. So if you're able to grow a fraction as big as the NWO, because the NWO was humongous at one point.
Yeah,
it wasn't a person who was not a member of the NWO. If you were not NWO, you're getting jumped every wrestling.
And I think that was the problem with NWO. It got too big. I think at times it got a little too big, and that's when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash broke away and started the Wolfpack, the Red and Black. Remember?
Yeah. And then we had the LNWO too, the Latino New Order.
Yeah, the LWO. That was Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, so we had three different factions under the same banner almost.
Right. So it was like
I don't think that's gonna work in today's time, unfortunately. That's
sort of my thing. That's what I'm saying. Like the idea of it being similar to NWO, that's sort of I wouldn't see it like that. I mean, granted, again, to a point where Roman was trying to quote unquote dictate Jade taking over the SmackDown title. And now Roman got Raw, Jey Uso got SmackDown. Okay, I can see all that, but to that point, it's not like it's really intermeshed. Like we're seeing SmackDown, Raw being intermeshed. I mean, granted, you see guys, swinging here and there, moving around, cool, but those are really like in parts, small things here and there, but not like bigger ordeal things. So to that point, I don't really see an overall need to sell it like NWO. But again, knowing TKO, I mean, this is what idiocity does to you, and you will do it. So whatever. But I mean, in all totality, do I know where this is going to lead to? No. Do I have an idea where it can lead to? To some degree, but keyword that's some degree, because again, when you have a team like that, and then of course rumors are, well, I mean, at this point, you may as well say it's not a rumor. It's just going to be factual, just when that Zilla Fatu is going to come to WWE soon. Then it's like, okay, you got Roman, you got the Usos, you got Jacob, you got Zilla, and then you got Solo. You got 6 people on one team together. Eventually, how do you feed 6 people on one team a title each? Eventually, you got to send 3 of them to the other side.
Yeah.
So it's like now you're doing some more of like, so now you have to look at it from a sense of invasion type stuff. So now it's like, well, someone got to win Money in the Bank. Why? Because someone got to go cash in and someone got to do this and that and all this other stuff. So again, to that point, you have to sell it to that level. Granted, knowing that the bloodline is sadly the most strongest and most popular storyline in WWE right now that's competing with the other wrestling shows out there, this is the only thing that they can really ride on, which, again, I say this sad because the fact of the matter is they haven't been able to build on nothing else because they're not really working on anything else. Because, again, to your point, y'all talking about Night of Champions, I mean, I don't know how, I mean, I'm pretty sure by now y'all got into almost every single match. But,
Pretty much.
Yeah, just about.
Right. So I'm gonna just pretty much follow where the conversation is, and then I guess I'll just give you my standpoint on where, like, how I seen the match over the weekends. But overall, I'm like, hey, look, it's just one of those things where I just look at it and I'm just like looking at where all these things are going and where all these things are traveling to. It's just looking like a very interesting thing because, again, like, okay, just to pivot this a little bit. So technically, okay, wait a minute. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Eric, I'm not hearing this from you, sir. I'm so not hearing this from you. Money in the Bank is dog shit too, and thankfully Paul agrees with me. But it's not. It's just more storytelling. The fact that you say
I agree with that actually.
But I don't see it that way. I think it's just more.
No, I agree with you, Wally. I don't.
Yeah. Regardless. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, just to sit here and say that Money in the Bank is just a lie. I mean, think about this in the sense of this, right? You have an opportunity to steal or to gain an opportunity in unlocking your deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in more cases than not, why not do it? I mean, I don't see that as a bad thing, and I don't see that as dog shit.
And the good thing,
a lot of people are cheating in the system right now just to get over somebody else. Right. That's the thing. And this is the idea: skipping the line to get to where you want to be. I don't see that as a bad thing because that just goes into the idea of heel. But again, that's the problem, right? Because most people that have Money in the Bank, you would consider that with heels, not with mostly faces. But even then, with faces, some of them, depending on who they are, you would naturally agree that they do deserve the title and they should have the title. So giving them that thing and getting them to get over the hump to get across that line when they're being cheated from the line, it still works. So to say that the Money in the Bank is dog shit, no, I don't see that. Again, everyone has to earn a contract one of these days. If you're in business, you have to earn a contract and do something. Say what you wish, Eric. Say what you wish. You're just living in old times, sir. You living in old times. You gotta grow up with it.
Now, the only preview, like what, not only, but one of the few previews I think like they need to maybe change the formula a little bit is Hell in a Cell, for example, or what's the other one?
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
I mean, yeah, but that's not really much of a pay-per-view these days. Like Hell in a Cell is not much of a pay-per-view these days. Nowadays, they outed that a little bit with something else. Elimination Chamber, again, Elimination Chamber is not like every match is Elimination Chamber. It's just 2 matches. So I don't see that as much thing either. Granted, when you're calling an event Elimination Chamber versus just having the match itself, I could see them change that. But other than that,
I guess what your point is.
No, I just think we all remember back in the day, the steel cage, the Hell in a Cell was like one of those. You only saw maybe once every 3, maybe 4 years. It was one of those things you look forward to when you rarely saw it.
They also said anytime a wrestler wrestles in a Hell in a Cell, it takes 5 to 10 years off their career.
Oh yeah,
but I think that also goes back to the magnitude of how far they went with the match. If you're going up on the steel cage and you're right there, and then you're being smashed right through the thing, and you're going downhill. Yeah, that definitely gonna take some years off of you for sure.
McFoley is a great example.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
Because
But that's besides him being smashed through the cage. He got smashed outside the cage.
and through the cage after that. Because
Well,
I
yeah.
think, oh, come on, Eric. All right. Good night, Eric. I'll probably get you tomorrow. But the thing was, I remember even Undertaker said when McFoley went off the cage into the announcers table, he reacted like he's still alive.
And he told him later on, it says, stay the fuck down, dude. Just stay down. And the funny part, my mom's doctor, I told you guys, he was a professional wrestler, Frank Scarage. He was a doctor.
I think you did tell us already.
I'm sorry?
You did tell us that already.
Yeah. So he was the doctor who ran in the ring. You saw somebody running in there.
Yeah.
That was Roman Scarage. Like, holy shit, he's dead.
Oh, wow.
And he told me the story multiple times. Like, he ran in there like a bat out of hell. He thought he was dead multiple times. And when his tooth was in his nose, like,
yes.
what the hell did you get your tooth in there?
Because I saw that grin. I'm like, what the hell?
I thought it was a booger.
I thought so too. I thought he had something stuck in there. And that's his tooth. I'm like, oh my God. And he's still alive?
And he got up and went back in there and finished the match. I'm like, that is some next level dedication. And that's something I will always salute to that.
Yeah. That's shows you love the business in every way. Whoo, that's wow. That's unreal. Respect. For real. But
but just to go back to it, as far as like that whole thing being done, I mean, again, I don't know how they're gonna do it because again, this is gonna be a thing. Because right now, for what? Let me see. So as of right now, right, technically the next main roster pay-per-view is gonna sub pay-per-view is gonna be Saturday night's main event, which I don't know what they're gonna. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that just yet. There's nothing for that being made yet. After that, from there, then of course now it's SummerSlam. So my thing is this whole thing with Solo, where is that gonna come into play? I don't really know. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question, Wally. All right. First question I ask you. How do you see Solo going back into the bloodline after the bridges have been burned?
I mean, at this point, so coming off from what SmackDown presented, as far as saying when Tama Tonga told Solo that we heard from the ancestors and we're out. So the fact that go ahead.
The elders, I think you're talking about the elders.
Well, ancestors, elders, pretty much almost the same thing. But I mean, when they said that, and when they made that call for them to separate from Solo, that right there is a very strange and honestly a very horrible thing to do. Because honestly, what does that amount to when you do that? It doesn't really sells nothing for the story at that moment. Because that just makes it. I mean, honestly, this makes it worse because it's like, okay, you're not even giving Solo a decency of a fighting chance to even do anything with this story overall. And now you're just leaving him wide open to just take a blunder and say what? You're just going to fall in line just because you get beat down and you're going to be re-ushering. But then this is my thing is like the moment when Solo was pretty much, throwing out his emotions a little bit as far as saying, oh, I hate the bloodline. I hate Roman. I hate the Usos. I hate this. But then you got to think about it. Technically, he has the right to say that because, again, Solo recently just got the NXT North American Championship. Out of everybody else in the family at this point, no one other than him that was there in WWE had a Solo title other than him. While he was at his peak of what he was working with at the time. Now you force him to come up to the main roster to help your punk ass out just because you were bodily ill and you couldn't compete to the highest level and help you save yourself from losing your title. He had to be your forcer, you had to be your assassin. But in the moments of doing so, he had to lose the title. A title that he should not have to even give up at that point in time. Who's to say that he couldn't did both NXT and do be the bodyguard for Roman at the same damn time. Because
That's
not like
true.
Roman's on clock for NXT. So now, from that perspective, from that point, you pretty much just robbed Solo of his hard work and earnings in the family overall and stripped him of his dignity just to be your bodyguard. So now, to be honest, again, so from Solo's standpoint, his anger and his hatred stands. Now let's go from that point. That's from Roman and from the other standpoint. Now let's go from the Uso standpoint. How the hell you go from telling your brother like, oh, he could be the tribal chief, but then here you are still sucking up to Roman and being right under his butt, literally sitting right there, being right under him. But you tell your brother he can be the better tribal chief than you, but you gaslit that and don't stand by him at all to even back him up to being the new tribal chief. So again, that's even another piece of hatred right there, because you don't want even your little brother to be the tribal chief of the family. So again, to this point, yeah, I can see the hatred across all boards with everything. So that right there is like, so again, to go back there, this is the point I would have to sit and say, yeah, that's like going back to slavery.
Oh,
In Solo's mind. Yeah, no, it is. In Solo's mind, that's Samoan slavery. And he don't want to go back there. He don't want to be belittled. What that gets me.
scraps.
And think about it. Let's even go further. Hello, this is the same guy that told you, oh, well, see, if Jimmy wasn't injured and hurt, he would have been my right-hand man. You was only my right-hand man because you're the only one here. Last time I checked, who injured Jimmy? Who put him on the sidelines? You did. What you talking about? But again, here we are. Here we are. And we wonder why this is the thing. But of course, you got to fall in line and honor the throne and honor who got the title and everything. Bull is this. So yeah, I didn't love the fact that they sort of wrote this in and pinned it in, talking about the elders got in and said they have to get them to separate. Because now that tells me is, okay, well, wait a minute. If that's the case, then are we sitting and telling, because just because you want to sell the idea of the Roman side of the family with the Fatu side of the family and let that be the only side of the family that's in this particular group, and say screw over Tama, screw over Talatunga,
and Tongaloa,
as if they're not supposed to be there. Well, Tongaloa's not there right now.
Oh, okay.
But and then screw over them like they're just supposed to be side piece characters in the Samoan, somewhere in the Samoan tree of the other side of the neck of the woods. Like, huh? Like,
I'm
no,
sure
what?
what's going to happen with these guys now. The other,
I mean, right now the way it's picturing it, they're going solo. But knowing TKO with these morons and these storytelling, boy, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised they're the next ones out the door. Which it pissed me off because I like Tamatunga.
no, I do like I do like him myself too, and it bothers me. I always feel bad when anybody's get released. I always do, because they put their life online, they put their blood and sweat into this, and seeing somebody released, I'm like, come on, man, really, like nobody deserves that.
Right.
But I do
It's called
understand.
the Ulafala. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Yeah. The second question I have for you, Wally, and we already spoke about it. I want to see your opinion on this. Sami Zayn.
What about him?
You think he's going to be a long championship or like a short run like he has been in the past?
Well, if you heard prior research and reports, they're saying that he's having a short title run. And I would love to say this. With their match, that triple threat match, I'll say it like this. I'm not going to be surprised that he's having a short run. My only thing is this, though. This is the same story with Sami Zayn that I laugh about. This is why I sit here and say this. When Sami Zayn made that comment towards Ricochet about what he said about WWE and screwing over people's wrestling legacies, this is the thing right here. See, and when you think about what he said on Saturday after he won in that interview moment, you take one moment and think that is supposed to be the silver lining, which again, if you're validating your own success, hey, if that means winning one title is your success story, hey, by all means. But personally, when you validate your success and you're saying your success is that one title in that one moment, and you're gonna have a short title reign, look, when people said, like, people can sit here and say that Kofi Kingston is a is a Triple Crown champion. No, the fuck he ain't. With that short ass title reign of being world champion, only for Brock Lesnar to come with the Money in the Bank and cash it, and then F5 him and 1, 2, 3 him? No, hell no, hell no. That was fucking poor as shit. Hell no.
In my opinion, that's a joke.
So for me, looking at Sami Zayn, I'm looking at this the same way. Like, again, I don't ultimately like Sami to this point, but at the same time, though, it's like at this point, a lot of people can sit here and say this, right? Sami Zayn should have been a champion a long time ago. Which, in fair notion, yeah, he should have been a champion a long time ago. And the thing is, granted, it's right here. But the fact that you're going to sit here and say, oh, Sami Zayn being world champion now, and it's going to be a short title run. So who's going to get the title then? Are we going to go back to Cody Rhodes? Is that going to be the plan? Because I'm telling you right now, the answer is hell no. I'm sick and tired of this shit. So again, hearing this idea that Sami Zayn's going to have a short title run, how short is it going to be? Well, he's going to lose at SummerSlam? At one of the biggest pay-per-views? Oh, okay. No respect there. What's next? At the possibility at the next later down the road Saturday Night Main Event at December 6th? Okay, that's even worse. You just got pinned down on a lesser form pay-per-view. Well, what's going to be? Night of at freaking Money in the Bank, and someone cashes to you at that same night? Oh, wow. What the frick? Like, no, and this is the thing I'm sick and tired of. Like, this goes back to a little bit of what Triple H said this past week with Stephen A. Smith, talking about, oh, wrestling fans need to have fun with the material. Negro, you prove every single day why Vince need to take this company back under his wing. Because you saying that dumb shit, I'm liable to. This is the reason why I sometimes can't even give Triple H a break. Because the dumb shit he tends to say out of his mouth. You talking about you want people to have fun with the material that's being done. I'm sorry. But let's get one thing clear. You have people that are invested in people, the wrestlers themselves, and they see the crap. I've seen Drew McIntyre be the best villain in wrestling to this day, and you're telling me, oh yeah, well, he gets a title run, but the title run's going to be short. What's the point of giving him the title? What's the point?
I agree.
It's like,
that's the problem with Sami Zayn. Every title run he had from whatever has always been short. It doesn't matter which one it is.
I mean, look, but that's my thing. Is like I'm not really too pressed about almost everything else he has up to date. It's like more so like, okay, that's my thing. It's like if you award someone like with the main title, especially of the roster, at this point, give the person at least the decency to have a run. Give them the decency. Like, again, for me and for anybody else out there watching, like Sami Zayn, hate him, somewhere in between, give them the decency to have the run. But to have it short, and then who's he going to lose it to? Please, whoever he loses to, please let it be worthy. Because other than that, what are we talking about?
It was a waste of time, and that's and disrespectful as well.
And that's the thing that pisses me off about Sami Zayn, because it's like you don't understand it from that sentiment of what Ricochet's saying. It's like you're just having a short reign for what? For shits and giggles? Oh, okay.
And I think what basically Ricochet is saying was trying to tell Sami, you deserve better. You deserve better.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. And I get it. It's like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of talent out here these days that easily you can say you can interchange them left and right every damn day. But it's like everyone got to work for theirs. Right. So it's like when moments like this happens, fine. If you're telling me, if someone told me today, well, not today, but maybe yesterday, let's say you were to rewrote this whole thing, and let's say like the end of someone's career, they get less than 10. Are you still sitting here saying that they're still like a high-end Hall of Famer category? Yeah. But the thing is, like, think about it. You look at a lot of people that have been able to get 10 plus titles. The John Cena's, the Triple H, the Randy Ortons, the Batistas, the Edge, how much people had. When you look at a lot of people in this state and age, and you look at those people in those categories that are 10 plus in, and you think to yourself, look at the people that are under 10 plus. You're trying to tell me I'm supposed to make it make sense that Shawn Michaels has less than 10, but he's been the most interesting character of wrestling overall, but yet he has less than 10 world titles. Make that make sense to people. Let's be real about that. Eddie Guerrero, same thing. But granted, with Eddie Guerrero, that's a different case because, of course, his timing. But still, like, make it make sense. And I think there's a level to that where you have to look at it and be like, come on. So
No, it doesn't
at
make a
this
lot of
point,
sense.
well, yeah, because the way I'm saying it right now for anyone that's the way that's thinking about this, what I'm saying is I'm trying to rationalize it to where right now you have to look at your peers and be like, almost every last one of you amongst your peers, you're equal in your own ways in some formality, but the level of your character, it's a difference when it comes to the fans. But I think when you look at everybody, truthfully, a lot of characters deserve to be world champion. Finn Balor deserves to be champion.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I heard a funny statistic that, Sami Zayn is the first world champion as far as excluding from the Universal title to be world champion coming out of NXT. When you think about this, that's technically true because Finn Balor was the Universal champion. Kevin Owens Universal. They weren't world heavyweight or a WWE champion. So when you look at that to that point of everyone that came out of NXT, but think about it. Every last one of these guys, the Samoa Joes, the Shinsuke Nakamura, all these guys, and not one of them ever touched the big boy title. Like, what in the world are we doing? That's sanitary. That's insanitary. That's crazy. So again, I think to a level to where we at right now, knowing that the talent you have on the main roster, if you're going to give someone a title, at least have the decency to let them have a run before you give it to somebody else.
Facts. That's so true indeed, because why are you holding them back? Why you're not giving them an opportunity? Why aren't you giving them this chance? Why aren't you, I'm not even going to say prepare them. Why aren't you even just giving them an opportunity to get a sniff at it? Only to snatch that opportunity away and give it to someone who's not really deserving or who hasn't really cut their teeth and worked their way up? It's almost like, okay, what backstage politics is going on that's playing a factor in all this as well? Is there any backstage politics that's going on that's playing a factor in all this too? Because you got some people that have been waiting a long time and never got a chance to get a sniff at it. And then all of a sudden, certain individuals you never thought that they put in the time and the effort are now getting opportunities? Please make that make sense.
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is just looking like clockwork. It's like, again, like, don't get me wrong, right? Like, I get it. When you have a certain particular character like a Roman or like anybody else, right? These people are going to have these moments to have long reigns. But let's be honest, in this day and age of wrestling, a lot of the oldie guys that have been holding up the brass ring are gone out of WWE. They're gone. Like, let's be honest, like, open the floodgates a little bit as far as these stories. You're just going back to the same people that have been getting injured, that have been getting sidelined. Like, it's this, like, come on, bro. It's getting repetitive.
Taking time off for rest because they've been doing it for too long.
Right. Like, some people, they're not taking time of rest. They're just waiting to get back into the storyline. But that's my whole point, is like, it's just getting repetitive at this point. It's like, come on now. Like, let's get this going. Get somebody else in the door. Get somebody else in the door. Like, this does nothing. Like, again, like, I know, like, the whole thing with as far as like one of the matches, like with Bron Breakker and Seth, like, I get it, right? It's like, okay, you went the guy you can trust, but it's like, honestly, I think within that brutal match for that decent brutal match for what it was, honestly, you should have gave it to freaking Bron. Should gave it to Bron. Why? Because you could have did something different. You could have did Roman versus Bron Breakker. Screw it. For all I care, why do we got to keep revisualizing this shit? How much times have we did Roman versus Seth Rollins? How much times? Literally, how much times? This is getting tiring. I'm getting as tired of this, then I'm getting as tired as the freaking, if you're trying to project me to see another freaking Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I don't want to see that again. I don't see none of that. I'm getting tired of y'all. Y'all been there, done that. Congratulations. Next. Give someone else the free range. Give someone else the work.
Who hasn't gotten the chance? Put them up there. Plain and simple.
Like, y'all can make stories. Like, y'all just gotta freaking tag these people and let them cook for peeps' sakes. Y'all don't. Let's be real. Like, and that's my thing. It's like a lot of people are good in the mic. So if you're good in the mic, you can sell the story and then you can sell the actions. So again, I'm looking at this in a clear experience, and I'm saying to myself, okay, at this point, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? I get it. Roman is hot commodity. I get it. He's your QB1. The bloodline's a hot commodity. Great. Cool. Fine. I get it. But at this point, I'd rather see the bloodline chasing the titles versus motherfucking having the whole damn thing in the first place. Because to be honest with you, I'd rather see Roman be out there chasing and building and doing teamwork with the bloodline versus trying to just establish that they're already there. Like, that's pointless to me. Like, we've been there, done that. Switch it up a little bit. Talk about the kingdom that's rising and trying to get the goal. Do that. And the wars that they have to go through because everyone don't like them. No one don't want to see the bloodline go reach back in the top. It's sort of dead scapegoat. And let's be honest, like Roman's, like in my honest belief, knowing from past history of past reports that Netflix wanted Roman to be the top guy on their television, and that's another thing too. Negotiations, TV production, all that. So again, when we're talking about politics, yes, there is politics in there, and that's one of them, and that's sad. Because again, you have to serve ratings. But now you have to sit here and say this. This is the whole point. This is why, once again, Vince would say, we're in the depression era of wrestling as far as WWE. And it's fucking true at this point.
Oh, I totally agree with Wally 100% on everything he's saying because we're repeating matches, over storyline. Nothing changes. It's like same thing. Same person wins, same person loses, same person wins again, same person loses again. They're just cycling old material over and over and over, and it's getting tiring.
It's getting too predictable, and that's not a good thing.
Right, and that's another thing, because again, like, so here's one thing, right? I didn't love this whole thing. So just to get into the whole Night of Champions as far as the rest of the match, because I don't want to keep talking about bloodline stuff and everything. But the IYO SKY versus Liv Morgan, I didn't love that. I didn't love how they did that. They should have gave that to someone else. The whole Liv being in that spot was stupid.
I agree 100%.
And then to make it worse, now you had freaking what's his name in the face paint talking about you're cursed. And now Danhausen. Okay, and that was a stupid gimmick in its first place because now they're saying, oh, well, the storyline's gonna be she's gonna lose Dawn, she's gonna lose the whole Judgment Day, and the ripples could affect because this curse is not gonna just be her losing the match. It could be her losing the title. It could be losing Dom. It could lose the Judgment Day. I'm like, what? What? You didn't have to use the curse to do that. Like, what are we talking about? You already had it in motion. So I'm like, bro, the match was sort of stupid. Like, I didn't love this idea. But again, that goes back to the idea of selling the prominence of how sad this is being written. Because you couldn't give that to nobody else. No, you just decided just to give it to Liv Morgan because why the freak not? That is dumb. That is dumb. A lot of people want to see freaking Raquel be up there right now as far as getting the title, or neither someone else, whoever. But you could have picked anybody else in this position, and you chose Liv to cheat her way, like, well, not cheat ultimately, but be in the match knowing that she's already a champion. You're being chased. How the hell you're trying to get involved to then stop the chase? That's dumb. That is the most stupidest decision I ever heard of.
Hard pass.
That's like saying you're the world champion and you're in the Money in the Bank and you freaking won the Money in the Bank briefcase. What? Oh yes, keep stealing opportunity. The rich get richer.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
That makes no type of sense at all whatsoever.
So this is becoming complacency. And this is why fans honestly be out here raging. And they have all rights to rage because it makes no sense to do this. No matter how you sell it. So that right there, I wasn't fond of that match at all. I'm not saying it wasn't a solid match between them, but I wasn't fond of it though.
I think it was a stupid idea to put in Liv Morgan in there because IYO SKY was going to challenge her anyway. So
Right.
we're repeating
And
the match.
that's my whole point. And that's my whole point. That's what I'm saying. It was completely nonsense.
Yeah, and that's why I'm totally agreeing with you. And when I first opened the show tonight, that's the first thing I said. It made no sense. Now, if you put, like, say, somebody else, like, say, Charlotte Flair, for argument's sake, I'm just going to throw a name out there. Yeah, that makes a little more sense to me. Then she can challenge Liv, like, okay, I'm coming after you, bitch.
Yeah.
Right, because anybody else could have been in this place, right? Like Becky don't have the IC title. Now, granted, I don't know if Becky taking some time off on the sidelines or whatever, but Becky don't have no title right now. You could have put Becky in that lineup. You could have put anybody else to face IYO that was more ideal. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like this whole work right now, and just looking at who's on the roster, and you're just not using them in the right direction of this. It's sort of just manure. That's what I'm saying. This is so sad. Like, granted, like, and so that's what I'm saying. It's sort of stupid to even run this the way we're running it because, like, bro, what's the point?
Exactly.
What is the point?
Exactly. You tell me someone like Rockwell, who's been cutting her teeth and everything else, she doesn't deserve an opportunity at something like this. You tell me there's no other woman on the roster, or even maybe someone, even someone in NXT that's an up and comer. And said, you know what? We're going to give you your shot now. Let's see what you can do.
But even from this point, another thing I'm also getting sick and tired of is the idea of the injury play. Because I didn't love – this is the thing I can't stand with WWE at this point. I mean, well, yeah, TNA too. I mean, not TNA, but TKO. I'm sorry. But, yeah, this is the thing. Like, when people are injured and you know they're injured, but you tag their injury in a storyline, like, why? Why? Why the fuck are you doing that? Like, literally, why the F are you doing that? Just fucking stop it. And then to even make it worse, just not Osman using no one. Like, they already greenlit Blake Monroe to be on the main roster, but you have not done shit with her. This would have been perfect timing for her just to line herself in here and get in here and do some action. Or you could have just pivoted and gone to, what's her name? Jesse James. She could have just slide right in and get the opportunity and be right there. What are we doing? Like, what are we talking about? But no, you went and pivoted and did this dumb thing. Like, no. So again, I'm not loving this at all. Like, it's sort of just trash. And then the complexity of like to pivot to the males. King of the Ring, like. Yeah, that's obvious. They did the right play on that part as far as, Oba winning over Jay, and that's cool. Granted, yeah, there was some botches being reported at that match, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, again, clear point view matchup. The fact that they're letting it happen in SummerSlam, which again, if I'm not mistaken, the King and the Queen of the Ring get to challenge the whoever they want to challenge for at SummerSlam. Right. So people were questioning that storyline of how that's going to line up because if you put Oba with if you put Oba with Brock, it's like, well, what is Oba doing with his title shot? Which apparently now it's saying that he's good to still have his title shot, but he's able to go focus on Brock Lesnar, which, okay, solid, I guess, but I think that is just poor bad timing in itself.
It is.
Because again, it's like, really? Then someone else could have just been right there, and then Oba could have just did something else. Like, Oba could have just got to the title in a different way then, at this point. Because now, I ain't gonna lie, he's just holding it up right at this point. Because really, all you could have told me is Seth Rollins, man, just won the King of the Ring tournament his damn self and just qualified to face Roman. Oh, no, we're just going to let him just walk up right to Roman just because they have history and call him out and say, hey, I want a title shot with you. You good to go? Sure. Because I need to beat you. I need to beat you in front of my whole family. I need to do all this to show you that I can beat you, that you can never one-up me at this point in time. Oh, yeah, whatever. The freak. It's getting old.
Get your ass in the back of the line. There's some other people that are more deserving of the opportunity.
Well, yeah.
That's where my issue is right now with wrestling. You're repeating the storylines over and over and over. Come here, break. It's predictable, it's boring, and it's stupid in my opinion. We need a major uplift. And I blame TKO. I don't blame Triple H because they even announced TKO runs him like a puppet. They say what kind of storyline run, and he has to do it. And it's not fair for Triple H, in my opinion.
I mean, it ain't all, like, look, I say it like this in fairness, because I forgot what the wrestler's name. Oh damn, I forgot his
Which
name.
one?
But no, he's in MLW right now. Hold up, I gotta find his name.
Okay.
But he made an interesting statement on one of these wrestling platforms when he said this, and I find it actually very intriguing that he said it, because this was really okay. So Killer Cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said this. This is what he said. He said that, to his acknowledgement, based upon how he takes things and what he's felt when dealing with Triple H, in his honest opinion about how he looks at booking, he knows when it's a Triple H booking and he knows when that's higher management booking. And from his standpoint, Triple H is in a locking situation where he can't do as much as you think he would want to. So for me, I'm like, okay, coming from Cross and someone that's in the industry, someone that's been dealing with him, I can understand it from Cross' perspective of how he sees that, and I can be fine with that all totality, right? But then this is my other point that I also tend to dislike is when you did that interview with Stephanie A. Smith and you're talking about fans need to have fun. I'm sorry, bro. Like, you see the bullshit. Don't try to undermine it and then now want to just do that, quote unquote, that little pitch just to say the pitch. Like, no, just hell no. You know it's shit. You know it's shit. And maybe your bosses make you do it, whatever. But you know it's shit. So this is like, I get it. Your hands are tied. It is what it is. Freak it. But personally, no. I am not gonna write off like this. I would at least said something completely different, but not to what he said there. But each to each his own. It's not me, it's him, so whatever. But that's what I'm saying. Like, again, ultimately, all in all, I know from, at least from Cross' perspective, because again, he worked with him, I can be fair enough to say if he had that perspective, I can't be ultimately mad. I just have to be like, you just got to understand the lane and the game and the climate we're in. And that's it. You know, it is what it is. Understand the lane, the game, and the climate we're in, because that's what it is at this point.
Sad but true.
But that's how I'm looking at it. But again, it's just like there's just certain things that I'm just looking at and I'm like, bro, certain of these things are just a little bit nonsense. Like, again, even with the United States Championship match with Trick Williams and Ricky Saints, like, again, it was okay. I wasn't entertained by this at all in all totality. Like, it's like whatever. It was like, cool. All right, bye. Then the women's the women's United States Championship with Tiffany Stratton and then Jade Cargill, and then we're getting interference from Charlotte Flair, which looks pretty healthy walking, in my opinion. Because how the hell you're there? Again, this is the bullshit I'm talking about. This is the BS I'm talking about. How you're there to interfere and help that when you just got technically injured to a point that you couldn't even stomach to even putting weight on your leg. Like, I'm sorry. Like, come on, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is some clown stuff, bro. Like, I can't help this. Like, I can't help this being too much clown.
You know what it is? It seems like TKO feels like no one's gonna notice or pay attention. But if you got people who've been watching wrestling for so long, they're gonna notice things.
But that's the thing. Everybody noticed. And then another thing to it, too, that I also don't like about it is it's like, okay, why the hell Jade is challenging Tiffany Stratton for the United States title? So what? She loses and now she's been demoted to mid-carder? Okay. And sadly enough, she could be even demoted even worse because a lot of people are giving her heat for the work that was done on Night of Champions because she botched the hella bad too. And I'm like, damn it, it's just getting nasty every single day. Because I'm like, yo, make this make sense. Like, and again, to this standpoint, you could have just gave that match to anybody else. Anybody else. You wanted to work that to Jade. And I'm like, what? And then to make it even worse, it's like, I'm sorry, but Rhea Ripley is injured. She's out of wrestling for some decent time. I'm sorry. I remember the good old days when people got injured, you were relinquished of the title. You just have to come back and work for it again, and you just get that title match right back in there. Like, what are we doing? What is this? What is this? I swear, I don't want to. Let me find out. We come to SummerSlam, and that title is still on her waist. You got to be kidding me at this point. You got to be kidding me. If I'm just being honest, you just got to be kidding me. Move on to the left. Moving on to the next. Moving on to the next. Literally, moving on to the next. Like someone else can work it and hold it. But again, that goes right back to the idea of TKO and we don't think anybody else other than her can do it at this point in time. Yeah, and that's your problem. You don't build no one to do it at this point in time. But now going back to this, because again, and if anyone asks, well, who else can replace Rhea? Okay, let me help you out, right? Let me help you out. Again, if you didn't play that stupid botchness with that freaking Charlotte Flair thing, you could have gave it to Charlotte, even though, granted, I don't like Charlotte having the title too much either. You could have gave it to Alexa Bliss for all I care. You could have did some Magic Genie stuff and just gave it a Blake Monroe somewhere in that freaking Queen of the Ring match, or at least qualify for it. Jesse Jane, I don't care who you got. There's enough. Look, Jesse Jane got enough steam and enough teammates to back up her being world champion at this point. Because, hello, it's called stealing it to the top. Okay, well, hey, by all means, you can sell it how you want it. It don't matter. Literally, it honestly, respectfully, just don't matter. Because that's how it rolls at this point. And this is my whole point. Like, this is just nonsense. Again, Grace. You could have gave it a Grace for all I care. Like, what are we talking about? And let's be honest. Honestly, you could have gave it to Julia, but you freaking buried her the moment she got to the main roster. But yet you boost up freaking Stephanie Valkyria like it was nothing. What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
You had gold.
My thing is, it's like, okay, you have NXT for a reason. You're telling me someone there wasn't waiting for an opportunity or deserving of an opportunity?
Don't. Hey, look, if you want to talk NXT, let's not talk about that BS that happened past weekend, because I look at that as BS too. Let's be honest, Lola Black only got that title for like what, a couple of weeks or so? Like what? And that match, you just lose? Like, it's just hot potato. That's what we're doing here. We're playing hot potato. Like, what in the world are we doing? It's hot potato land. You get a title. You'll get a title. You'll get a title. Everyone gets credibility. Like, what the freak? No. This shit's stupid. And as far as, okay, now to go to the triple threat match, to lock it in for myself, as far as how I take the triple threat match, right? I mean, people said that they changed, as far as people report, they said that they changed that match.
Really?
So that tells me technically Sami Zayn wasn't originally supposed to even win, supposedly. Now, granted, but here's the reason why I respectfully, if I'm just being unbiased, right? Why I don't even like this win for Sami Zayn. One, because you're doing it in Saudi, which already gives an honest reflection. Because let's be honest, you may as well treat this as Sami Zayn's second home, and you're basically saying, "Oh, Sami Zayn should have only won it in his hometown." Wow. So what we're telling me is we're gonna do it the same way like anybody else, right? Because it's your hometown, you ain't gonna lose it there, so you just may as well just win. Like what? Like that's dumb. In respects, that is dumb. Because that's what most people correlate that thing with anyways. So that's even bad in itself. But the thing is, I will sit there and say this. I will numb that only because he actually pinned Cody. But the sad thing is, and I mean, I won't say that's a sad thing, but he pinned him. Not only did he pin him clean, but you pinned him with the roll-up. It's not like there was a true definitive finish. And that's the thing right there that's also a little bit like, I mean, you can pick and choose how you look at that. That's up to you, because honestly, I that's free range. But to now sit here and say that now you're gonna say, well, Sami Zayn's title run is gonna be short. Again, feel what you feel about Sami. It is what it is. I don't like Sami too much either, as much as anything. But honestly, to the point of either you sell him as a heel or you trying to sell him as the ultimate babyface, this man is not gonna get over as any much more than. And what? Okay, I want to make sure I made the sense. Cause I remember someone made this post. Who's a better overcomer between Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan? And I'm like, yeah, nah. Sami Zayn doesn't have the credibility of Daniel Bryan. Like, you can sell the overdog story with Daniel Bryan. With Sami Zayn, is like, honestly, you ain't really an overcomer. You're just someone that just didn't see world title worthy. That's the stigma on you. So that right there to me, that's what I'm saying. Going back to this again, the fact that you're having a low title, you're gonna have a low title run. All right, yeah. You know what? So this is why I come back and say it again. And you're the one that wants to, cry and be a soldier for WWE and go against Ricochet, but this is what you're being done with. But again, validate your success how you wish to, because personally, I'm validating your success as a fan, and I'm saying that is sad. That is sad.
Oh wow, that says it all. I have to give you that. I mean, okay, you got what? You have Saturday Night Main Event coming up, and then you're gonna have SummerSlam. So how are you gonna fill that time between what just happened last night to when you go to Minnesota? That's gonna be the real big question as well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. So, guys, we're past our cutoff time. So let's start getting our final thoughts and start ending the stream tonight. So, Anton, you want to go first?
Sure. All right. Well, I'm looking at basically what happened at Night of Champions. And first off, TKO. I don't like the name. I agree with Peter. Call it King and Queen of the Ring. I mean, that has more historical significance than Night of Champions. Go back to calling it King of the Ring or King and Queen of the Rings. I think that's a better name, period. Also, y'all got to stop going to Saudi Arabia. For real. And that's nothing against those fans. Nothing against them. But y'all got to stop going to Saudi Arabia. Now I get it. The World Cup's going on here in North America, and you're afraid that you weren't going to get as many bodies as possible. But not every city in the United States is having the World Cup, and not every city in Canada is having the World Cup. So y'all had a chance to have King and Queen of the Rings here in North America. You really did. Y'all just didn't want to try. And at the same time, change it up. Change it up. And if you think that fans are not paying attention, believe me, fans are paying attention. And don't be surprised that eventually it gets to a point where fans start chanting, this is you know what. So my thing is, from the sounds of it, I'm still going to watch Night of Champions. And I like that name. And I'll give you my honest opinion about it next week. And I can imagine what happened on Raw tonight, too. Even though they're, I think, still in Saudi Arabia. So they probably started a little bit sooner than they used to. But at the same time, try something different. Run with something different. Stop being afraid to push the envelope. Don't sit there and tell me you can't put together an awesome storyline or storylines with the whole entire rosters involved. That's all I got to say. Know some words worth thinking
about. Well, first and foremost, let me say this. As the sadistic mofo that I am, that I come in here, I hope I didn't ruin no one's fun when I came in, because we all know how I get. But with that said, hey, look, my final words are going to be this, man. As time goes on, this is where I sit here and say WWE is more like a highlight reel these days. You're only there for the highlights. You're not really entertained. They really care about what is really going on, start to finish, with WWE. Honestly, these days, it's more of you're neither gonna just waltz on in to just notice. You're just gonna be pissed, or you're just gonna waltz on in and be like, okay, you're curious to see where things go. And honestly, in my honest opinion, ever since this whole new year, well, this whole new beginning for WWE's sake, it's just been I'll see what happens and I'll see if I'm actually intrigued enough. Other than that, nah, I'm not impressed to a high large margin. If you had told me today, like this past weekend, I mean, and it's funny, right? And I'm only gonna say it's funny because, you know, AAA is doing good, NXT to a degree, even though I'm not really happy with a lot of things that happened on that show, was good. And a lot of people can say AAA and what happens in AAA, what happens in, you know, NXT are way more better than what happens on the main roster these days, which is a good thing and also a bad thing. And I only say a bad thing is only because you're seeing what could be, but you're not getting what can be on the main roster, knowing the talent that's there and knowing the talent that should have these types of matches themselves at this level. So, yeah, just one of those things. But, and look, I think right now, when you think about a lot of the wrestling this past weekend, boy, hey, look, you got to give it to Triple. You got to give it to. I'm not saying AAA, but you got to give it to AEW at this point. Like, they're definitely taking that ring and they're definitely running with it big time. Because I ain't gonna lie, some of the things that I've seen, some of the things that I've scammed over. Boy, they cooking over there. They're cooking. I ain't capping. They're cooking in some ways. They're cooking, and they're cooking pretty good. I know a lot of people are saying some things here and there, like in disapproval, but to a lot of things, if you actually followed it, I actually liked what they did with like at least two people, especially with the character reflection. And I'm like, hey, look, this is tight. I ain't gonna lie, I respect this because they're doing some little bit more out of the box type stuff, and I like how they're doing it, and I like how they're going with it. But in all totality, man, let's see what happens. Because again, I don't know how long this whole Sami Zayn train is going to be. At least I would have hoped that he survives longer than Survivor Series. I would hope. At least Crown Jewels. Then you like, you know what? Yeah, you take it from him from Crown Jewels. That would somewhat be fair, at least from a pay-per-view perspective. But other than that, I'm like, yeah, it's just highway robbery, in my honest opinion. Because my thing is, I'm looking at it like, who are you going to take the title? Like, who's taking the title off of Sami Zayn at this point? Because that's going to be the cautionary tale for me. Because I ain't going to lie. If you go back to Cody, I'm liable to break my TV screen. And the thing is, I don't got a TV screen to break right now. So I'm liable to punch the wall. Because no, this shit's dead. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I am somewhat tired of the bloodline thing, even though I understand like this is your most usable and big brandable pieces. But if there's nothing more I hate even more to the bloodline, it's also the Cody thing. Because I'm sorry, there have been some comments that he thinks that he's the QB1 and everything else. I'm like, oh Lord have mercy. Please, someone give this man a reality check. Please, because his ego is too bigger than his face and brain cells to comprehend you're just a bum. Respectful. You are a bum on television. Literally. What do we want to talk about? Nothing.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming up. Wally always has some interesting ending stories. Let's do a quick schedule update. So, tomorrow night, we are talking about parent or friend. Can you be friends with your children?
I like to call that a very thin line of situationships. Okay, look, because I don't know if I'll be there or not. Probably won't, give or take. It all depends on me. But the reason why I say this is this. If you're someone that doesn't allow your kids to have friends, then who else but you? And from that sentiment. But if you do, then it's like, well, then yeah, nah. Then you just a parent. Yeah, keep it straight and funky. That's how I'm gonna look at it. To be honest with you.
Okay, let's try this again. Let's finish the schedule update. So on Wednesday, we're talking about high-rated movies that actually deserve their hype. Yeah, we're going there. And Paul and Coach will be going over muscle, body, and intelligence. And will be no gray area this Sunday. We're taking off for the holiday, and we'll be back next Monday again. Except that, guys, as always, this was the Spartan HQ Network. I am the Spartan, my man Anton, my man Wally. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.